I'm using code words because I have to. I've had videos taken down before. I'm going to be talking about Peter Tea Leaves, the founder of Planeteer, code words, the one who gave us J.D. Vance. He's putting on a 4-part seminar at the end of September, early October, at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco. And he's going to tell everybody who the Antichrist really is. And it's sold out. And you want to know who the Antichrist is? He says it's not one person. It's basically you and me. Yeah. The Antichrist will claim to bring peace and safety while actually creating a stagnant global state. Meaning, read between the lines, there will be governments that try to stop people like him from taking it all. And he calls that stagnant. The only promising technology for avoiding stagnation is AI. And if you remember in his interview with the New York Times, he doesn't even feel it's necessary for humans to exist because of the technology that's coming out. So the Antichrist will try to slow down and regulate AI in the name of peace and safety.
Hello guys, welcome back to my social commentary. I hope we all are doing good and we are watching this video. In a bold move to reaffirm religious liberty, our President Donald Trump just announced that the Department of Education will be issuing new guidelines to protect the right to pray in public school. So guys, if today is your first time of coming across our video, do well to subscribe to our channel. Tell us what you think about this video in the comment section. Tell us what you think about what our president did in the comment section, and please ensure to like and share to help the video out.
I'm using code words because I have to. I've had videos taken down before. I'm going to be talking about Peter Tea Leaves, the founder of Planeteer, code words, the one who gave us J.D. Vance. He's putting on a 4-part seminar at the end of September, early October, at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco. And he's going to tell everybody who the Antichrist really is. And it's sold out. And you want to know who the Antichrist is? He says it's not one person. It's basically you and me. Yeah. The Antichrist will claim to bring peace and safety while actually creating a stagnant global state. Meaning, read between the lines, there will be governments that try to stop people like him from taking it all. And he calls that stagnant. The only promising technology for avoiding stagnation is AI. And if you remember in his interview with the New York Times, he doesn't even feel it's necessary for humans to exist because of the technology that's coming out. So the Antichrist will try to slow down and regulate AI in the name of peace and safety. Therefore, effective altruistic people are the Antichrist. He says that people like you and me who are altruistic will usher in totalitarian governments by claiming we need authority to protect society from things like, going bankrupt, losing everything we have, getting sick and not having health care coverage, livable wages, affordable college, all those things. Those are real threats. Those aren't making up threats. Those are real threats. A way to identify these pro-totalitarian governments is to look for instances where people are claiming that there is a great threat and therefore humanity needs to take some costly action despite the threat not actually being that big. Think climate change. Think starvation around the world. Think dictatorship and taking down our democracy. He considers himself a Girardian mimetic. This is a belief, Girardian mimetic desires. So you know that story, that study where you have a whole bunch of kids in a room full of toys, but when one kid picks up this one toy, all the kids drop what they have and they're going after that one kid and his toy because they want what he has. They don't want to enjoy everything they have. And according to this desire, it leads humans to actually unalive other humans. And the way he's describing this is the billionaires are this one boy holding the toy. And we all, as little Antichrist people, don't want to enjoy what we have. We're going after Peter Tea Leaves because we want what he has. See how he's painting all of us? He is completely redefining today's Christianity. He's being sponsored by Acts 17 Collective. This is a big Christian movement that ties in technology and billionaires into Christianity, being a pivotal part of taking Christianity to the next level. I'm not kidding you guys. The fact that you have an entire Christian nationalist society that is condemning the LGBTQ, and he is a married gay man, and these Christians are following him all of a sudden being gay is good. I don't know. What is this all about? Anyway, seems to me like it might be good to be protesting outside of this event and holding up signs. But anyway, from one Antichrist to another, may you have a great rest of your day fighting for health care for everyone.
School districts across America just got put on notice, and President Trump dropped a bombshell announcement that could cost liberal schools millions of dollars in federal funding. We're talking about districts that have been quietly blocking something students have a constitutional right to do. And this isn't about forcing anyone to do anything, but about protecting freedoms that have been under attack in our classrooms for decades. And the Department of Education is about to issue new guidelines that could completely reshape how schools handle religious expression. And here's the kicker, guys. Schools that don't comply, they're going to lose federal dollars entirely. We're talking about over $80 billion in education funding nationwide that could be at stake. And what they're hiding, it's going to shock you. The systematic suppression of faith in our schools has gone too far, and now there are real consequences coming. Finally, I voted for this. I've been wanting this. Kids need God in their life. You see the consequences every day. You all know what I'm talking about. So my name's Tom. I'm with the Daily Beltway. I'm also publisher of the Illinois Review and a White House correspondent for the Next News Network. And guys, we're a growing channel, and every like, comment, and subscription helps us grow. And I'm going to cut right to it. It's President Trump speaking at the Museum of the Bible about religious freedoms in school, and he knocks it out of the park. And they also bring up a kid on stage, and he speaks, and just watch how he presents. Imagine the amount of courage that kid had to have to stand there and deliver his message in front of the world. Watch.
But America was founded on faith, as we know, and I've been saying it for a long time. And when faith gets weaker, our country seems to get weaker. When faith gets stronger, as it is right now, we're having a very good period of time. After some rough years, good things happen for our country. It's amazing the way it seems to work that way. And under the Trump administration, we're defending our rights and restoring our identity as a nation under God. We are one nation under God, and we always will be.
Hi.
Watch his courage. He's going to talk about some things that I'm sure the algorithm on these liberal platforms don't like, but you know, you guys know where I'm at.
Hi, I'm Shane Cias. I've been a Christian my whole life, and Jesus means everything to me. When I was in 5th grade, my school forced me to teach my kindergarten buddy about changing his gender using a book called My Shadow is Pink. The book said you can choose your gender based on feelings instead of how God made us. I knew this was not right, but I was afraid of getting in trouble. After my family spoke up, the school treated us badly, and kids started bullying me and my brother because of our faith. And the school did nothing to stop it. It hurt a lot, but I kept trusting God. I believe kids like me should be able to live our faith at school without being forced to go against what we believe. I hope no other family has to go through what mine did. Thank you.
He stood on business and delivered that without stuttering, without freaking out. Only like I think most kids can do. They don't understand like there's tens of millions of people talking about it. We're going to get snipped. It's pretty incredible. So here's what happened. So speaking at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C., President Trump announced that the Department of Education will soon issue new guidance explicitly protecting the right to pray in public schools. But here's where it gets serious, folks. Schools and districts that interfere with students or teachers' constitutional rights to religious expression could face the loss of federal funding. And this isn't some symbolic gesture. We're talking about real money. Federal education funding totals over $80 billion annually. And for cash-strapped districts nationwide, losing federal dollars could be devastating. And that means some low-income districts rely on federal funds for up to 20% of their budgets. And the announcement builds on the Supreme Court's decision, which is Kennedy versus Bremerton from 2022. That case ruled 6-3 that a high school football coach's prayer on the field were protected private speech and not a government endorsement. And Justice Neil Gorsuch wrote that the Constitution neither mandates nor permits the government to suppress religious expression. And that means pray to whoever you want to pray to. If it's God, if it's Allah, if it's Yahweh, if it's whoever, that's your God. Pray to them. You should have the right to do so when the time dictates. If your prayer time is at a certain time every day, you should be allowed to do so. And nobody should be able to tell you can't do that. And Trump made it crystal clear where his administration stands on that. The guidelines will ensure students and staff can engage in voluntary prayer without the fear of reprisal, as it should be. You guys know the consequences of these children not having God or a structured set of something in their lives, like, code of ethics that tells them that it's okay to run around and pew people. You see the consequences. I don't need to show you. Just go and, X for 5 minutes. You'll see the videos that are consequences of this. And Trump also warned that any school or district found infringing on these rights would risk or will lose federal dollars. So what's driving this policy? And it's stories like the 12-year-old boy who spoke at the event. This young Christian faced bullying after his family challenged problematic curriculum at his school. After his family spoke up, the school threatened them. I've had issues with that. You guys, I'm sure people watching have seen those things where you want your child to feel a certain way, you pull them out, you stick them in a different school because of how the district is handling things. These are the real consequences that we are all facing when we stand up for our faith or our belief system. But it's all changing. The threat of withholding federal funds introduces an enforcement mechanism we have not seen before. Federal law prohibits discrimination based on religion, but tying in a compliance to funding is a significant escalation. And there's critics already going nuts. The ACLU issued a statement warning the policy could violate the Establishment Clause. Legitimate concern, but not enforceable. And governors like, liberal Governor Gavin Newsom in California, they vowed to resist, potentially setting up another federal versus state clash. But here's what they don't want you to know. A 2024 Pew survey found 58% of Americans support student-led prayer in schools. And this isn't a fringe position. It's mainstream America. So what does this mean for parents and students? It means schools can no longer suppress voluntary religious expression without consequences. Prayer groups, religious discussion during free time, and faith-based activities get protection. And if you have to pray at 11 a.m., you can pray. So if you guys got value from this news update, please tap subscribe. I have a final thought on this. I'm pretty sure you know where I'm at. In my opinion, this announcement represents something much bigger than school policy. For decades, we've watched faith be systematically removed from our schools and our public institutions under the false banner of separation of church and state. And the founders never intended for government to be hostile towards religion. They intended for government to stay out of religion's way. Look at the Bill of Rights, it's in there. When Trump announced today that about restoring balance, students shouldn't have to hide their faith or check their beliefs at the schoolhouse door. And teachers shouldn't fear disciplinary action for acknowledging their religious convictions. This policy protects voluntary expression while maintaining constitutional boundaries. No one is forcing prayer on anybody, but no one should be preventing it either. And when schools suppress religious freedom, they're suppressing the very values that built our country, this republic. The strength of America has always been rooted in the faith of her people. And it's time that our schools and those who lead the schools remember that. God bless.
If you're wondering if prayer is allowed in schools, you do not need to question that anymore. President Trump made a pledge allowing new federal protections for student prayer in schools this week. He criticized schools for what he described as anti-religious propaganda and harsh punishments against students who express their Christian faith. Now, let's listen to President Trump express why he made this decision to allow prayer in schools. Here's the clip.
Joining us this morning is Hannah Allen from Honey Grove, Texas. A few years ago, Hannah organized a group of her classmates to pray for an injured peer. The school principal declared that Hannah's generous act of love was prohibited from taking place in front of the other students. To support students like Hannah, I'm pleased to announce this morning that the Department of Education will soon issue new guidance protecting the right to prayer in our public schools, and it's total protection.
Trump continues by stating that for most of our country's history, the Bible was found in every classroom. The Honey Grove School District, they reversed their initial decision and allowed Hannah and her classmates to pray and continue to pray during lunch. Trump had a response to that, and this is what he said. It's an illustration showing the need for nationwide protections for prayer in schools. Tell us your thoughts about Trump taking the initiative to implement federal policies for prayer in schools. Write your thoughts in the comments. Well, remember to like, follow, and share, and that way others just like you can see this video. Thank you for watching, and this is Felicia L.
Top of the day, it's Just Jack with a morning news site where I bring you facts straight, no lace, with a little bit of spice. Top story: you wanted more religion in your life? You're gonna get more religion in your life. Ask and ye shall receive. That's Trump has now issued guidance on prayer in public schools. Who'd have thunk it? Now, as a part of this agenda, he's ordered his DOJ to eradicate religious bias. What the fuck does that even mean? Nonetheless, he's also allowing federal workers to promote religion in the workplace. Wow. He's also going to punish you bankers for restrictions against religious institutions. Aren't we making America great again? And then, how about this? This new Religious Liberties Commission, a team of 13, right? Promoting religious liberty across the great U.S. Problem is, 12 of the 13 are Christian. How about that for promoting religious liberty? And speaking of religious liberty, our president was recently seen speaking with that committee. And during that speech, he says, well, a little bit of domestic violence or a husband spatting with his wife shouldn't be considered a crime. Don't take my word for it. Listen.
They said crime's down 87%. They said, no, it's more than 87%. Virtually nothing. And much lesser things that take place in the home they call crime. You know, they'll do anything they can to find something. If a man has a little fight with the wife, they say this was a crime, see? So now I can't.
Don't you just love getting what you asked for?
In his last speech, President Trump said, when faith gets weaker, our country gets weaker. When faith gets stronger, good things happen to our country. And he's right. I can't help but thank God for this moment in history. Think about it. This nation was founded on the principles of God. Our forefathers prayed, they sought his guidance, and declared us one nation under God. And yet, over time, so many have tried to erase him from our schools, our laws, and our life. But under Trump, we're seeing a restoration. Reminder that we don't stand because of our strength, but because of his mercy. And it feels so good to have a strong leader who is also God-fearing. One who openly gives all the glory to God. I, for one, am grateful, not for just Donald Trump and the people who voted him into office, but for God's mercy on this country. Because, let's be real, we don't deserve it. We've turned our backs, embraced sin, and so many are still lost. But God is patient, and maybe, just maybe, this is a way calling America back to him. So today I rejoice, not in the man, not in a party, but in the Lord Almighty, who raises up leaders as well as tears them down. I thank him for giving us another chance. And my prayer is this: may those still wandering in the darkness find the light in Jesus Christ. Because no president, no law, no movement can save us. Only he can. So let's give all the glory where it belongs, to God. Thank you, Lord, for your mercy on America. And may we never forget, we are and always will be one nation under God.
Most of our country's history, the Bible was found in every classroom in the nation. Yet in many schools today, students are instead indoctrinated with anti-religious propaganda and Some are even punished for their religious beliefs, and very, very strongly punished. It's ridiculous. Joining us this morning is Hannah Allen from Honey Grove, Texas. A few years ago, Hannah organized a group of her classmates to pray for an injured peer. The school principal declared that Hannah's generous act of love was prohibited from taking place in front of the other students. Didn't like it. The principal didn't like it. Can you imagine? But Hannah very strongly stood her ground, and she won. And Hannah, I just want to thank you for letting the light of your faith shine for all of those to see. We really appreciate it. And where is Hannah? Is Hannah here someplace? I think so. Hannah, stand up, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hannah. I know what you went through. I know what you went through. It's great. Appreciate it. To support students like Hannah, I'm pleased to announce this morning that the Department of Education will soon issue new guidance protecting the right to prayer in our public schools, and it's total protection. Thank you, Hannah. Great job. See what you did, Hannah? Who knew? Who knew that was going to happen, right? Thank you.
Yo guys, thank you for watching our video. We really appreciate it. So speaking at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C., our President Donald Trump emphasized on the importance of faith in American life. He stated that when our faith gets weaker, the country gets weaker. And when our faith gets stronger, as it seems now, the country have good things to achieve. So without further adding to, if today is your first time of coming across our video, please do well to subscribe to our channel, like and share to help the channel out. You're welcome.